The CMX 500 Rebel was introduced into Honda's lineup back in 2017. Not only did it attract A2 license holders thanks to its A2 friendly specs, it also appeals to those riders among us who enjoy the look and feel of a street bike. But for those of us who rock around with a full license in our pockets, Honda have now revealed the up and coming bigger brother, the CMX 1100. Kicking it off with the engine specs of the 1100 Rebel, the engine is a tweaked and tuned version of what you'll find powering Honda's Africa Twin and is available in both a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed dual clutch transmission. It's a 1084cc parallel twin that when you twist the ride-by-wire throttle will deliver a peak power output of 87 horsepower at 7,000 rpm and 98 Nm of torque at 4,750 rpm. Unfortunately, no word on the top speed of the CMX 1100 at the time this video was produced, so as and when that information becomes available, feel free to drop it down in the comment section below. To put the 1100's engine into perspective, the Africa Twin, which the engine's been adopted from, delivers a peak output of 100 horsepower and 105 Nm of torque, whereas the younger sibling, the CMX 500, will give you a return peak output of 45 horsepower and 43 Nm of torque. Curb weight, you are looking at 223 kg for the manual and 233 kg for the DCT option. The 1100 does have the weight advantage when comparing the manual option against its competitors. For example, Triumph's bobber is 5 kg heavier at 228 kg, and the Indian Scout bobber is considerably heavier at 251 kg. And of course, as it's a bobber, the seat height means that you do not have to be 6 foot tall to flat foot it, as your buns of steel will sit just 700mm above the ground. The 1100 Rebel also gains another advantage when comparing the fuel tank capacities. Triumph's bobber scored the lowest at 9 litres, Indian's Scout bobber improves on this and goes up to 12.5 litres, but Honda upped that capacity further still, all the way up to 13.6 litres. And if we go by the official spec sheet of the 1100 Rebel, you'll probably be able to squeeze around about 170 miles out of a tank. A big selling point for most modern bikes these days is their large TFT displays that can near enough do everything apart from make you a milky brew. The 1100 Rebel has opted out of that craze and gone for a small, circular, simplistic LCD display that has all of your relevant information on it. Included in that relevant information is a fuel gauge and what riding mode you've got selected. What rider modes are there, I hear you say? Well, the 1100 Rebel will come equipped with 3 riding modes as well as an additional user riding mode. For every riding mode there is a pre-selected torque, traction and wheelie control setting with the exception of the user riding mode, and for those who have gone for the DCT version, each mode will also determine the shift behaviour. Starting off with the standard mode, which is a nice balance between a responsive throttle and a smooth riding experience. The torque, traction and wheelie control are all between their lowest and highest settings to give you a great experience whilst cruising around city streets. The DCT gearing will also permit some hooliganism, but you'll generally find yourself in higher gears at slower speeds in order to improve the bike's miles per gallon. The rain mode will do exactly what it will do on any other bike with a rain mode, and that is push the assists all the way up into their maximum setting in order to keep the bike upright and stable. The DCT riders will also find their bike shifting very quickly through the gears to reduce any unwanted rear wheel spin up when under hard acceleration. The final riding mode, which many of you I'm sure will opt for as and when the road opens up, is the sport riding mode. The settings for the torque, traction and wheelie control are all lowered, and the DCT option will hold onto the gears all the way up to the red line in order to deliver maximum power. If however none of those riding modes are to your fancy, you can of course hop into the user riding mode, which will allow you to adjust any of the settings mentioned in order to tailor the ride to your liking. Stopping the CMX 1100 will be a single 330mm disc at the front and a single 256mm disc at the back. Some might be concerned with a single disc at the front, however 330mm is a pretty substantial disc size, and as standard the bike will come with dual channel ABS. The style of the CMX 1100 will be very similar to many street bobbers. Your riding position will be slightly hunched forwards, your legs will be at an almost 90-degree angle, and you'll be very low down to the ground thanks to the 700mm seat height previously mentioned. Underneath the seat you'll find 3 litres of storage and a USB Type-C port in order to charge up all of your gizmos and gadgets. The CMX 1100 also comes with a full LED light array both in the front of the bike and the back, with the front reminding me kind of similar to a Porsche headlamp or a Porsche for those Tribbianis out there, with the 4 individual lights inside the lamp itself. No matter what accessories you decide to opt for, the CMX 1100 comes in a choice of 2 colours, Bordeaux Red Metallic and Gunmetal Black Metallic. If you're looking to pick up a stock CMX 1100, you'll be looking at parting with £8,995 for the manual and £9,899 for the DCT version. The manual version of the CMX 1100 is reasonably priced, and when compared against the Scout bobber from Indian, the pricing for that bike starts at £11,999 and Triumph's Bonneville starts at £10,650. The stock CMX 1100 looks great, but Honda have also got a few accessories up their sleeves to help cater to street riders and touring riders alike. If you want some extra street cred, then you can swap out the stock seat for a diamond stitch seat that comes in either black or brown, a rear rack to attach storage to, a tank pad, a headlight fairing which I definitely dig, a short front mudguard and wheel stripes which I also definitely dig. The touring riders on the other hand can swap out the stock seat for not only a comfort rider but also comfort pillion seat, that comes with a pillion backrest, pillion foot pegs, a rear rack with fabric saddlebags and an upgraded front fairing with a windscreen. Ladies and gentlemen, that will wrap up our quick overview of Honda's new CMX 1100 Rebel. Thank you for taking the time and watching today's video, and as always be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe to be kept up to date with all the latest and greatest content which comes from the B-Bros. As always guys, have yourself an incredible day and we'll catch you in the next one.